Good morning, Year 5. Let's begin the session by grabbing everything you need today. As always, English book, pen, ruler, pencil, rubber, whatever you think might be useful to plan a story. Off you go, and I catch up with you very soon. Well done, Year 5. I'm sure you're as excited as I am to start planning your story, or shall I say your myth. So let's start by writing the date and the LO in your books. So today is Wednesday, the 27th of January, 2021, and the LO is plan my version of Theseus and here, as you can see, it's empty. This is where I want you to have the name of your monster. So whatever it is, this is where it comes now. So the LO is plan my version of Theseus and the name of your monster. And full stop, underline when you're ready, and I'll see you in a minute. So today you're going to be adapting the story of Theseus and the Minotaur that you know quite well now to Theseus and again, the name of your monster. So obviously, in the story, that's going to be your monster that Theseus will be opposed to. Now, depending on your monster, obviously, things will have to change in the story, depending on the capabilities and the strength and the powers of your monster. Theseus will have to decide how he might kill it. So even if we are just going to change few things, there are loads of things we need to think of while planning. However, we will keep lots of things the same to make it easier for you. The setting will be the same, Crete. The other characters, King Minos, remember the king of Crete, Theseus, King Aegeus, king of Athens and Theseus' dad, Ariadne will stay the same. So same for the storyline. Theseus will travel to Crete to save people from the monster, your monster, which was causing problems. Theseus will find a way to kill the monster with the help of Ariadne. Then they will escape. Now, on the way back, Ariadne wants to marry Theseus, so he abandons her because obviously he didn't want to. And punished by the gods, he forgets to put up the white flag, and so King Aegeus kills himself. So we will keep the same storyline. We change the monster and obviously whatever gravitates around it. So start having an idea of the powers your monster has and how Theseus can kill it. Let's pause here for a couple of minutes and I'll catch up with you soon. Okay, Year 5, let's talk about planning. So some of you might have managed maybe to print this planning sheet. If you didn't have time or if you couldn't, there's no worry. You can just do it in your books, a bit simple. So first of all, we need to plan the opening. Now, the opening will be quite similar to Theseus and the Minotaur, just a bit of change when we obviously, instead of talking of the Minotaur, you talk about your monster. So in the opening, you need to develop these three main points. You're going to introduce King Minos and a description of your monster. You're going to describe what King Minos demands. And hopefully, then there will be a conversation between Theseus and his father, the king of Athens, and why people are sent there to Crete and why can't they come back? So these are the main parts that we will see in the opening section. Remember, it's planning time. So in here, in this section, I should only see keywords, phrases, but I shouldn't see any sentences that will come later in the week when we start developing our story. Okay, Year 5. So before we move on, just like take 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you need to plan this opening section. Remember, we want to have some facts about King Minos, some facts about your monster, and then everything else kind of stays the same. So keywords, phrases, pause the video, and I'll catch up with you for the next part of the plan. See you in a bit. Amazing work, year 5. Now we moved on to the build-up section of the story. And again, as we've done before, there are 3 main elements to have in your plan. So I'm going to read them for you. Theseus decides this cannot continue and that he will go to Crete with the sacrificed people to kill the monster. Aegeus tries to persuade him against it. That's the second point we're moving on to now. Aegeus asks him to raise a white flag on his way home if he is successful and a black one if not. And finally, they sail to Crete and King Minos mocks the men. Theseus chooses to face the monster first. So in this build-up, compared to the original story, nothing is really going to change. However, this part here, okay, where you've got to talk about your monster. If you're confident, maybe you can change something here. Maybe Aegeus asks Theseus to do something else if he's successful or unsuccessful. That's up to you. If you want to keep it as it is here, it's absolutely fine. If you want to challenge yourself a bit more, you can change the part here with the flag. Up to you. Again, as you've done before, I don't want to see any sentences in there. I just want some keywords and short phrases. Take 5 minutes if you need to. Take 10 minutes. Take your time. That's important. Take the time you need. And I'll see you in a while. Amazing job again, year 5. Now we're moving to the problem part of the story. And this is probably where we've got loads of elements to change compared to the original version of Theseus and the Minotaur. So let's go through the problem together. The first point is, before Theseus goes into the maze, Ariadne gives him a string to help him out after he's killed the monster. So that part will probably stay the same. Then we've got Theseus walks through the dark maze and meets the monster. You can maybe add few elements about the monster. Can he hear the monster while he walks through the maze? Can he smell it? Different things using the senses. Here, obviously, in the third part, we will have to do lots of changes because here I use a Minotaur with a description of the monster, like large, towering figure, long, weary hair, cold and bony horns. Obviously, this part here worked for the Minotaur, but it's not probably working for your monster. So loads of elements to change here. Again, moving further here, we've got the monster picks him up. So if I refer to the Minotaur, you remember the Minotaur picked Theseus up and threw him in the air. Obviously, that's probably not going to be the case with your own monster. Maybe your own monster will attack Theseus in a different way. Now, at the end, it would be great if you keep the same ending. Theseus was hurt, because that would be the problem. So again, we keep things similar to the story Theseus and the Minotaur to start the problem, but then we move really towards your monster and different changes. So this is probably the crucial part of the story, the most exciting one as well. So take your time to have all the keywords and notes and phrases you can for this part. I'll catch up with you for the next one soon. Well done, year 5, and we are back here with the resolution section of the myth of Theseus and your monster once again. Okay, so let's have a look at the different parts we need to have in the resolution section. So first, Theseus uses his last strength to defeat the monster. So up to you again. How can Theseus kill the monster? What is the weakest point of your monster? Remember, for the Minotaur, Theseus grabbed the horn and twisted the neck of the monster. It probably doesn't work for the monster you have chosen. So let's try to find the weakest point of your monster and to develop how Theseus will kill it. Now, once the monster is dead, Theseus tries to find a string in the darkness. He can't really find it, but yes, after some time, he managed to do it. So up to you to develop and to plan this part as well. Then, out of the maze, he meets again with Ariadne, who was waiting for him and begged him to take her back with him to escape her father. Theseus agreed, and they both set off back to Athens. So obviously, this part can stay the same. So once again, all these 3 points here have to be adapted to meet the needs of your monster. So think back to what the problem was. How are you going to solve it? Or shall I say how Theseus is going to solve it? So make sure you have some clear steps again with keywords, phrases. Ooh, maybe you can start thinking of relative clauses and subordinate clauses and maybe a bit of speech between Ariadne and Theseus. Okay, so all these elements should appear in your plan. As before, take your time. There's no rush. See you for the ending part very soon. Well done, year 5. You've made it to the ending part of our version of Theseus and whatever your monster is. So, few things to change here. As I stayed home, Ariadne discussed how happy she was to be marrying Theseus, and we know that he didn't want to marry her, so he kind of abandoned her on an island. So all of this will stay the same. However, if you have decided to change the flag idea at the start, this is where you need to adapt your story as well. If you didn't change anything, basically all the ending part could stay similar to this one. It's up to you. So go back to your the opening, see whether you have changed the idea with the flags and replace the flags with other elements, and then obviously adapt these elements to the ending part so they match together. Again, you might want to start thinking about expanding noun phrases, relative clauses, bit of speech, powerful verbs, and have all this into words, keywords, phrases to end the plan for the planning section for today. Well done, year 5. You have survived a long session of planning, but I can tell you it was worth it. It's going to be easier then in the following days to develop the different sections. So I just suggest have a break now, and maybe during the day at some point, go back to the different parts and see if you can add different elements. Okay, so take your time, have a break now. You did really well, super proud of you. If you still have a bit of strength or energy, post it on Dojo so I can have a look at what you've done. And I catch up with you tomorrow when we start writing. Take care, year 5, and see you tomorrow. Bye.